Hello, I'm Tom Wilkinson, and welcome to the Thinking in English podcast, a podcast for intermediate to advanced English learners. On today's episode, I'm going to give you 7 amazing TV shows to help you learn and perfect British English. All language students can really benefit from watching TV. You can learn various British regional accents and ways of speaking, pick up some new vocabulary and sentence structure, and discover new information about British culture and history, all while enjoying yourself at the same time. So here are my recommendations for the 7 best British TV shows. Last week, I recorded an episode recommending some books, which you can check out in the description of this podcast. But one of my other favourite ways to learn languages is by watching different TV shows, sitcoms, and even documentaries. Although your parents might have told you that TV will rot your brain, watching the right English TV series can actually be an excellent way for language learners to mentally exercise. TV shows are especially beneficial for people who want to learn different regional accents and dialects. Many students want to learn British English pronunciation and speaking style, but find it difficult to access quality materials and resources. Well, if you don't live in Britain, how can you learn British English? Well, one way is TV. By watching British TV series, you can learn some interesting British phrases, practice listening to and understanding various British accents, and have fun while studying. As British TV shows are designed primarily for British audiences, the show will be full of commonly used British sayings, slang, and expressions. The UK is also a country of hundreds of unique and challenging accents. The accents of people from Essex, Liverpool, Birmingham, Aberystwyth, and the Orkney Islands are so different that you might think that they are from a completely different country. Perhaps a completely different country to myself, even though Birmingham and Essex are only less than 100 miles from where I grew up. And by watching TV, you can also learn more about the culture and history of the UK. So how can you learn by watching TV? Well, here are a few quick tips. First, maybe you could take notes while you watch. Write down any phrases or vocabulary the characters keep using. Write down anything you find interesting or anything that you don't understand. Second, try watching episodes more than once. Especially if you're watching a short sitcom episode, it's quite easy to watch again and pick things up that you missed the first time. Third, talk about TV shows with a friend. It's a great way to practice the vocabulary introduced in the TV show and make sure that you remember everything. And finally, and probably most important, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Remember to enjoy yourself. So, I have selected a few TV shows which reflect different TV genres and different British accents. These are all shows that I personally enjoy watching, so I really recommend giving them a try. I think many of these will be available on Netflix or Amazon Prime or even YouTube in your country. So, let's get started. Sherlock. When I was at high school, I remember being obsessed with Sherlock. It is a modern version of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's classic Sherlock Holmes stories and features a brilliant and eccentric main character. The episodes are like movies, and they have amazing plots with devious criminal masterminds. As Sherlock is a highly intelligent character, perhaps you could learn some new advanced vocabulary from watching this TV show. The Crown. The Crown explores the life of Queen Elizabeth II from the 1940s onwards, focusing on her youth, the early years of her reign, and her relationships with her family. It is a perfect TV show for binge watching. If you want to learn the Queen's English, then surely the best person to learn from is the Queen herself. By watching The Crown, you can learn the incredibly posh British accent used by the English royal family and learn some history at the same time. The Great British Bake Off. This is one of my favourite TV shows and is possibly the most popular TV show in the entire UK. At least it definitely was a few years ago. The Great British Bake Off is an amateur cooking competition in which the contestants must bake different types of bread, cake, and pastries, as well as completing different challenges. It is really easy to watch and makes you feel good. The contestants come from all around the UK, so there is a nice diversity of accents. And moreover, there are lots of jokes, puns, and innuendos. So it is the perfect TV show to learn more about British humour and wordplay. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is set in 1919, just after World War I, and focuses on the lives of soldiers returning home from the war. Different gangs are fighting to control crime in the centre of England, and the leader of the Peaky Blinder gang struggles to run his business and lead a life of crime. The characters in this show mainly come from Birmingham, so speak with a Birmingham accent, which is also known as the Brummie accent. You might hear characters using lots of British vocabulary like pub and thick, which would be really useful if you ever come to study or live in my country. Black Mirror. If you want a TV show to make you think, then Black Mirror is certainly for you. Each episode is actually standalone, meaning that you can watch the series in any order you like. It is suspenseful, dramatic, and sometimes really thought-provoking. It really is an excellent TV show, and it's very popular and available on Netflix. Also, as the characters and actors are different in each episode, it is the perfect opportunity to challenge yourself by listening to new people speak. Misfits. A group of young people at a juvenile detention centre, which is like a prison for teenagers and young adults, develop superpowers and must work out how to manage their new situations. Misfits is a great show for learners because the characters all come from different parts of the UK, which gives a nice mix of accents, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Also, because they are relatively young characters, the vocabulary and slang they use is more common among young people. Killing Eve. This show is a little different from the other recommendations. It follows Eve Polastri, a British intelligence agent, in her mission to find Villanelle, a psychopathic female assassin. Killing Eve is an award-winning TV show and really addictive. Once I started watching, I couldn't stop. The reason it is a little different is that even though it's a British series, the main characters do not have British accents. Eve has a clear Canadian accent, while Villanelle speaks with a slight Belgian style. In any case, it is still a good opportunity to challenge yourself, and of course, there are British characters all throughout the TV series. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review or rating, recommend it to your friends, or let me know on Instagram. My Instagram is thinkinginenglishpod. The link should be in the description. And make sure you check out the Thinking in English blog. I love hearing from listeners, and I really appreciate all of the messages I have received over the past few months. feel free to send me a message or give me some advice or recommend a topic. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.